Alright guys, as you can see it took me a little bit, but I finally got that crossmember out. They welded it pretty good on top and then they did like a little weld on bottom. I couldn't get in there with a regular grinder on the bottom. Today we're using two M18 Fuel Milwaukee grinders, 4.5 inch. There's a grinding disc, one's a cutting disc. The cutting disc I wore it down pretty good, right? I don't trust it, it's probably gonna explode. So basically we cut out this cross member. My batteries kept diving, you know, they showed 3 out of 4 bars, it just kept diving. Yeah, so we cut out the cross member, we beat it with a hammer. We cut most of the weld off and then just beat the living smack out of the other one. So this is like a retaining plate. This is what keeps the jack straight, because if they just bolted it to the top of this guy, right, it's a little warm. If they just bolted it to this is kind of, the guy told me it was called a roll, was a form rolled beam. Looks like a channel to me. But yeah, basically if you just bolted to this, there's nothing to hold the lower part down, so it's just always going to bend. So they installed this retaining plate. You know, they cut it. So I'm assuming CNC'd it, so I'm gonna have to bend it back straight. They weld at the bottom here, so the bottom of the jack has some kind of reinforcement. We'll be working on this in my garage. We'll see if we can beat this retaining plate down first, and then we can go ahead and just trace everything over to that channel, which I'll do right now. And then no, you know, I'll do that in the garage. I'll sweep all this out and then clean it as much as I can first. So this is a pretty thin piece of steel. I don't think bending it back would be the best decision, because it'll just bend again and again and again. So what I did was I went and I asked if they have any scraps. So it turns out they have this channel. So it's a 1/4 inch in the middle, and I think it's like closer to like a little more than 1/2 inch on the thicker side. So basically, I go, hey, do you guys mind cutting this for me? So after I bought the two pieces. They're 6x2 by 17, and he goes, hey, I'll give them to you for $10. So I bought both for $10, but they have a minimum charge to use a debit card for $20. So I had to pay $20, which is still a great deal. So then I thought, like, hey, I'll get a plasma cutter. I was gonna go rent one from Sunbelt, but it's like all the way in Norco. It's a little far from me. So I reached out back to the shop. I go, hey, I know you guys do some cuts. I was wondering if you guys could do some cuts for me. So basically, this is what they did. As you can see here, they basically try to match it as close as they can. I marked it for them, and then they go, hey, we can't drill these holes. These are like oblong, they're oval, and this is a weird cut in the middle. So this is where your jack goes through, and then this is where it bolts down to. So basically I go, hey, can we just get some bolts at least close as can, or not bolts, bolt holes close as we can. So I think originally these were 3/8, but I ended up choosing 7/16 grade A bolts, so I can have like a stronger shear force, so it won't be as easy to cut. So this thing has an internal compressor, which we're using because I only have one 240 slot. I do have a 120 gallon air tank, but using this, just wanted to see if it works, and it works. This thing's ripping. Alright guys, so I've never used a plasma cutter before. I tried a Harbor Freight when it melted. So let's make sure we got our weld shade. Perfect. I bought this Lincoln Electric Tomahawk 375. It's an older model. It's a plasma cutter. I don't know what year it is, but it's a nice one. Guy says he had it on the shop forever. There's like a layer of dirt on it. He says he only used it a couple handful of times. They moved up to a bigger one. So 375 is a 50 amp. It's drawn on 240. That Harbor Freight one I bought had melted in my hand. That thing was a hunk of junk. I'd rather go with somebody who's dedicated to electrical welding. I don't know if this is gonna work. We fixed 240, so let's check it out. let's see. I don't know. Ooh, does work. We have it on top of a bottle that has, we have it on top of a bucket that has water, so hopefully it catches most of the sparks. We're gonna give it a shot. Damn, that thing is crazy, dude. So this thing has an internal compressor, which we're using because I only have one 240 slot. I do have a 120 gallon air tank, but using this, just wanted to see if it works, and it works. This thing's ripping. Maybe because I got it too close, maybe I have to go on an angle. This is just off of free balling, troubleshooting, learning as we go, right? Man, this thing's crazy, dude. It seems you have to like let it regenerate. Maybe it's time to, so basically the guy I bought it from, he said, hey, this cap is spent, there's electrode in it, there's a cap. So I wanted to make sure it works before I order this, because this stuff's expensive. It's like $130 for a couple of them. I do like the machine, so let's continue. They're not really like getting stuck on me. It looks like it's like melted lava. I haven't got hit so far, so I'm lucky, but being lucky and dumb is two different things. Let's knock it out nice-ish. So I should buy a correct PPE for this. I was tired of using grinders and sawzall blades. Dude, this thing, once you get used to this can be in handy for sure. Basically, this guy will fit inside this guy. Oh, dude, perfect. Just gotta hammer in his place. Hammer in place. Well, because you see how it's like bent. Bend it back. Weld it. We'll probably weld it tomorrow. It's a little late today. Plus the camera died. No, other camera. And yeah, a little warm. So I'm shaking too much. I'm shaking too much, guys. So what was that? About a quarter. And then on the side is closer to let me put my finger here. Closer to half. It's closer to half. So the top is the same gauge, about quarter, and the side is about half. Alright guys, moment of truth. We're going to drop this trailer on its own weight. Alright guys, well, straighter than it was, and then we're just gonna get some paint and we're gonna paint her up. Hopefully I didn't melt the cables, but I think we're good. Yeah. Alright guys, peace.